what do you think, you're perfect person to ask this since you're, well, probably the only one I know who's actually done this. What do you think about the potential of people acquiring legacy local media brands? So, the way I think about the space right now is there's a lot of excitement around like the newsletter side and the kind of social media angle, creator angle. That's what I talk about a lot. Then there's you and John are like the hybrids who are kind of succeeding at both. But then there's a ton of the legacy players that have, old WordPress site that stinks. They really don't have a newsletter or it's terrible. And maybe they had print, but they probably got rid of it. As somebody who's acquired a legacy brand, although I assume it was much better than most at the time, do you think that could be a smart play for people, maybe especially these newsletter people or somebody wanting to dig in more? Would you recommend that? How do you think about it?
Well, I mean, I would recommend it because I'm having a great time and it's been, so far it's been successful. I think that a VC or a private equity person would probably have a different opinion of it. I think I think it just all depends on what your expectations are. So whether you're looking for, a great lifestyle business or you're looking to scale, something that you're going to flip to an investor or to a larger company. I just think you have to have an expectation of what it's going to be. And it depends on the market. I mean, we're lucky to be in a relatively large market, but we can grow. I see a path to continue growing, but I want to do it very deliberately, and probably relatively slowly. We've expanded to 2 new markets, and we made one acquisition last year, at the end of 2024, which was we bought the regional LGBTQ paper. So they were not in growth mode, and they were looking for a buyer. And for us, we already had a large audience in the community, and it seemed to me it was an easy decision to give them a safe landing. And also we were able to put them into our web platform, to move into our print process. So we were able to take a lot of cost out of the business, and it made sense from a financial perspective. So that kind of us building this platform that we can then bolt on other acquisitions like that is certainly, I see that as a way to do it, but we're not in a massive hurry to do that. I think the market, the industry is changing so fast, and it's head spinning what's happening. You see some great success stories, and then you see obviously you see a lot of legacy print, not making it. And then you see, both sides of the digital publishing equation, right? You see things like the free press getting bought for a lot of money. You see Semaphore with a relatively huge valuation, but there's no guarantee. Those have global audiences, both of those. So on a local perspective, it's significantly harder to scale, but it's incredibly fun. If you want to be engaged in your community, I think it helps that there's a good story attached to my to what we're doing here, meaning that I grew up here, I left, I came back. I'm very engaged in the community. For me, this is an incredible job, perfect job for me, because I was at 2 events this morning before 9:30. So it keeps you busy. But I love it. It just, it depends what your risk profile is. It depends what your investment capabilities are. Yeah, sure. I think it's amazing. And I'm happy to talk through. We've got a good model. I think we've got the right, we know the way to model out, how this works. I'm certainly happy to talk, but I'm also always learning, right? I'm always looking at other businesses, what they're doing, trying to figure out what's working, and experimenting. Like we've launched a sports newsletter that didn't, that wasn't a huge success. There wasn't a huge market for that. So, but we can do that, and we can scale back. So it's we're lucky.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Have you thought about? I mean, again, it seems like you and John, excuse me, have figured out a lot of this stuff. Have you thought about scaling, like in your case, beyond Atlanta at all? Like, is that Is that something you've ever considered, or like working with somebody to kind of duplicate your model somewhere else? Has that ever come up? Have you ever considered that, or are you just solely
I mean,
focused?
yeah. I mean, it comes up. We get asked the question a lot, and
Yep.
you could probably figure out that I've registered our name in a bunch of different places. But it's, right now, the fact that I can be here in my home office and then be in every one of our communities to meet with the mayor, the city council, or local businesses within 20 minutes is, that's key to me. Like if I had to, get on a plane and fly somewhere or get in the car and drive for a few hours, it just changes the whole dynamic, right? So I'm not sure yet where, how that works. So it's something that yeah, sure. I mean, it's in the back of my mind, but it's
Back of
not
the
something
mind,
that's
but not,
imminent.
not yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I kind of expected, which makes a ton of sense. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
And I
Keith,
think you can see that. I mean, you can see in other, media companies, other digital media companies that have scaled